Hello, hello, and welcome to Millionaires Are Made, the show where we believe that you can grow and be a millionaire in all six aspects of health. We have episodes on your physical health, intellectual health, social health, spiritual health, financial health, but today we're going to be focusing on your mental health, and our topic is going to be art. How can art improve your mental health? Super excited to check out what we've got and what kind of tips we're going to learn. If you've never seen Millionaires Are Made and this is your first time, this is a show that's built on the fundamental belief that every person you meet knows something that you don't, and there's something to be learned from everyone in this big, beautiful world. So we went and grabbed three awesome guests. They're going to share some tips on how to use art to improve your mental health. One of the biggest topics of today is our mental health, and hopefully we can grow a little bit here and make you a little more happy. In the spirit of authenticity, we don't talk about our tips or advice before the show starts. And most times, I don't even know who's going to be on this episode until we get into the green room backstage about a half hour before the show. It's as real as possible. We do as no bias, no persuasion, just three awesome people in this world sharing from their life journey. So it's going to be great to hear what they got to say. Audience, if you're watching this, please do not be shy. We love comments and we love questions. Please ask them, and we will ask them live as well and put our guests on the spot. It's going to be fun. I do want to give a little shout out here real quick to some of our followers. On Facebook, we got Stanley Bashaganye. Thank you so much for supporting us. We love it. Instagram, Joshua Hernandez. You're amazing. Thank you. On TikTok, Rosalind. And on YouTube, Health Span with Hala. Thank you guys so much for helping us out. We are very happy about it. Guests, if you have any, well, I already know you do, but if you got a piece of advice that you want to share, or you have an expert or something you really want to get off your chest and tell the whole world how to be better and improve, sign up. We'd love more guests. We need more guests. The link's being dropped right now. www.millionairesaremade.com. Go check it out. Become a guest. Become a sponsor if you want as well. We can always use more sponsors. And if you are going through life and something is struggling right now, you feel a little lost, or you need some help, or your physical health or your mental health are not on top of anything, shoot us a message. Give us a topic. We will go out and find three guests that will give you a piece of advice to help you get over that hump in life. We love topic ideas, and we'll go do all the work for you and find them. And if you love what we do, we are so happy. Please make sure to like, subscribe, share, whatever it is on whatever medium you are. And if you love hearing all these tips and you want to have a one-on-one with me, I do offer free coaching as well. I love telling people all the knowledge I learn. All I do is spend all day talking to experts on everything. That link's being dropped below. And finally, we do have an awesome sponsor for this episode. I'd love to give a huge shout out to Silver Fox Fitness. They are an amazing company. Bob is the main fitness instructor there. He's done 30 years teaching fitness at their local YMCA, giving back to the community. Now he's a huge blogger and shares all of his knowledge on staying fit and mobile for a long, happy life. Go check out that link right now. And without further ado, it's time to bring out our first guest. Our first guest here, we've got Luke Harlan. Luke, can you tell me, who are you?
That's a $1 million question right there. My name is Luke Harlan. I'm a transformational mindset coach, which very simply means that I help people get out of their own way, overcome limiting beliefs, fears, misconceptions, the BS stories they tell themselves, everything to help them create their best lives and not be getting in their own way. So that's a little bit about me. And
Luke, I got an important question for you. If I wanted to improve my mental health with art, what tiny piece of advice would you give me?
Just get started where you are with the available resources you have.
Started where you are with. Can you explain a little more what you mean by that?
Sure. It's, I think we judge ourselves on perfection when, remember, creating art in any capacity is simply connecting. It's self-care. It's getting our emotions out. It's connecting ourselves with that activity and being creative. And part of that means that just get started, whether it's just a coloring book and you're, going to town on it, or just dancing, listening to music on your phone, or creating movement, or throwing paint against the wall, whatever you have available. The activity itself is the inherent important thing. It's getting creative, it's getting emotional, it's getting in touch with your feelings while you're expressing yourself and doing those activities It's not about, painting the Mona Lisa or being on the stage at the Met.
I love that. I like that idea because a lot of times you think art is only for the big famous people, the Banksys and whatnot, and so art, it's almost like playing like I guess like a recreational like softball league or something. You don't have to be great, you don't have to be perfect, but getting out and doing it is in the end goal. Is that what you're saying here?
Yeah, that's the activity itself is the exercise. It's not about judgment. That's the biggest thing. It's like we self-judge all the time. We're always down on ourselves. You don't have to have a bit of talent. Remember, art covers so many things, whether it's listening to music, writing music, dance, movement, singing, anything. Just expressing yourself in an artistic, creative way is the exercise into itself. It's not to be performed for other people. It's just to get you out of your own head. It's to tap into those emotions and to get you feeling in a certain state, which is hyper beneficial in so many ways. When
Hey, Luke, I think you muted. Oh, go ahead.
No. I just kept going. You never question.
So I got one more question for you, Luke. Well, first off, I actually have two. I'm gonna lie to you. I want to learn about what art you do personally, but I also want to know where in your life journey you learned these tips.
Sure. I think for me, I'm not like I always say, like I'm not an artist. I can't sing. I'm not even allowed to sing in the shower. But what in my journey of self improvement, in becoming more enriched and getting out of my own head, I had this aha moment of self awareness when I realized, when I was listening to music, when I was listening to musicals, or even watching like America's Got Talent. There was part of me that just really got emotionally connected to the gifts that these people had, and it just really opened up this fun of like these amazing gifts and talents of these people really connected with me emotionally about the hopeful purpose of things that I have in my life. We all have our own gifts, so it inspires me. So my form of art isn't really doing art for the art's sake of having an outcome or producing anything. It's about getting intentional with connecting to this incredible talent that's out there, and realizing that we all have a purpose. We all have a divine purpose. We all have something that we can get inspired by and do. And my connection, my emotional valve coming off and opening up, in connecting to that, the medium has been music. So that was really the catalyst for me, just really getting inspired. So whenever I see talented musical people or shows or listen to things or performers, it re-inspires me to focus on my gifts and to do better at what I'm doing.
So I guess what I'm getting a little bit from you is you don't even have to create the art to use art, but even just consuming or listening to other people's art can also improve your mental health. Is that correct?
Absolutely, because you're pulling yourself out of your typical environment. And that's the thing, is we get stuck in our own heads. We have the same record playing over and over again. And when we have new influence and new environments, showcasing things that aren't what we do, it showcases potential, and it gets us that, and diverts and distracts us from the things that might be holding us back, and gives us that potential of, hey, wow, that this is something that I can enjoy, I can emote with, I can feel. And music is one of those things that's universally taps into that emotion, that feeling, that those memories, those good times, those sort of things. So yeah, it's just a catalyst of creating a different environment, by participating in it or just observing it.
So that's why concert ticket prices are so expensive nowadays. I get it now.
Exactly.
Awesome. Well, thank you Thank you, Luke. We're going to move on to our next guest. We'll bring you out for the round robin. Next up, we have Rose. Rose, tell me who you are.
Hi, I'm Rose Higgins. I am a conscious mama, a conscious entrepreneur, and a conscious coach. So what that means is raising our level of consciousness and helping inspiring others. So I do a podcast, I have a coaching team, and just do my little part to impact and inspire others.
Nice. I love it. I love it. Well, let's see how you're going to answer this important question. If I wanted to improve my mental health using art, the general concept of art, if I want to improve my mental health using art, what tiny piece of advice would you give me?
It's a little bit of a double. So I would say to turn off your left brain and to change your perspective.
Can you repeat
And
that louder? Turn off your
yes,
left brain?
to turn off your left brain, our analytical side, and
Okay.
to also change your perspective.
All right. How are we going to turn off our left brain? Tell me.
Okay. So our analytical side, especially when we're drawing and doing art, is always going to have an opinion about what we're doing. Oh, you're drawing this too wrong, or it looks bad, or I'm not so good. So it's always going to have all of these opinions about art, and it can be in any form. It can be in dance. It can be in any form of art, music. Our analytical side is always going to be judging us. And so if we allow ourselves to listen to that, then we actually can slow ourselves down and stop. So when children are between the age of 10 and 11 is actually when most artists die. And that is because at 6 years old, you are super inspired, and every 6-year-old thinks they're the best artist. And then what happens is as they get older and older, they keep practicing. And at 10, they realize they're not an amazing artist. They're not Leonardo da Vinci. And so they give up. And that's why they don't live to be a great artist, because they stop practicing. And practicing is the only thing that you need to be a good artist. And I had that misconception that you have to be born with the talent, that you have to, have some special genes to sing, to dance, to do art. And it is actually not right. If anyone puts the time and effort into any of those mediums, they can be professional. They can be any level they want. So first part, it comes from stopping to listening to your analytical brain and shutting that off and accessing your right side, which is your creative side. And there's techniques that you can do that. And when you access your right side, you're accessing the creativity. So we all know about the creatives, the artists, but anyone can access that. And so that is the secret that is being, opened up by conversations like this.
Anyone, anywhere can do it. Okay, tell us where on your life journey you learned this. Hopefully.
So my mom has been an artist for 50 years, and I grew up watching her do art, and I felt pretty confident that I could do art, but it would take her almost 20. What's that?
What kind of art?
Oil paintings and
okay,
watercolors and but mostly oil painting. And she would take 15, 20 years to perfect an oil masterpiece. And for me, I just felt like that was not a practical thing. And so I stopped doing my art. And 2 years ago, I invited a amazing master artist from California. Her name is Miriam Bricks. And she, in 4 days, did an oil portrait, and it came to life in front of us. And it really shifted my perspective. And I saw people who had never done art come in and turn what looked like a Picasso into an actual person. Their first try looked like a Picasso. By the end of the weekend, they were drawing. And so I saw the shift before my own eyes, and I experienced it. Even the first painting in 1 weekend was actually pretty good. And I had never done an oil paint from start to finish. So I started to practice every day. I did a 100-day challenge of just practicing portraits. And I started going into, there's a book called How to Draw with Your Right Side of Your Brain. And it teaches all these amazing techniques on how to shut your left side of your brain off and to access your right side. And it gives the analogy of driving on a highway. And when you're driving, in the beginning, when you're driving, you're paying attention to all the signs that are around you, and you're paying attention to holding on to the steering wheel, and you're just focused on all those things. But really, when you're used to drawing, you just go into that mode. So when you're driving on the highway, you're not thinking about all those things because you've already practiced, and you're just shutting off your left side and actually going into your right side. And it's the same thing with drawing. If you shut off your analytical side and stop trying to figure out everything, and you just actually access your right brain, you actually stop hearing the voices around you. You go into what I call the drawing mode, and you can actually access your creativity that way.
That is awesome. All right, we're going to have to work on shutting off that left side. Awesome. Thank you so much, Rose. We are going to move on to our next guest, and we are excited to hear from you a little bit later. We're going to say hi to a good friend, Travis. Travis, who are you?
My name is Travis Lee, and I am a business coach and personal development coach. I'm also an author, and I work with entrepreneurs to break through their mental health struggles so that they can be more intentional leaders and use their stories to inspire the visionaries of tomorrow and uplift the next generations.
Amazing. Sounds like you do good work. Question for you. If I wanted to improve my mental health using art, what piece of advice would you give me?
Embrace the messiness and allow yourself the space to be imperfect and intentional.
Nice. One of my favorite quotes is, "From chaos stems creativity." Glad you just said that. It just came in my head. Tell us more about that, Travis.
So there's this misconception that you think of art and it has to be perfect and beautiful, but when you're in your own head and you just need an outlet, the best way to release that energy is to be chaotic. Allow yourself the comfortable space to just let it all out. And I found that the best way to do that is to just take a piece of paper, and it could be whatever you're feeling, write it out and scribble whatever, kind of like a toddler. They don't really know the words to express exactly what they're feeling, but they know that, hey, this crayon, this is making me feel really good right now, just to scribble and get it all out. Afterwards, they feel better. And it's the same no matter what your age is. You can just release that energy and go back to what you're doing without ever having to hold on to it.
Nice.
And
Travis, where on your life journey did you learn this advice?
it started at a really young age for me, dealing with stressful situations and being in a lot of chaos. My best coping mechanism was to just hide away, and I would scribble for hours, and whatever popped up on the page was there. And I could either hold on to it as a memory of what I was feeling to go back and reflect, or I could just release it, throw it away, burn it, and I don't have to hold on to it anymore.
Awesome. I love it. All right, Travis. Well, I think we're going to bring everyone else out here real quick. We'll get Rose out here and Luke, and let's go over each other's tips. Luke, can you real quickly refresh what your tip was? I think he's still muted. Rose, can you?
No, I'm sorry. I was start with whatever resources you have available.
Whatever resources you have. Awesome. Rose, tell us your thoughts on Luke's tip.
My mom does that when she is in a bank. She'll pick up whatever she has, and she'll draw with whatever she has, the people in the bank. You can draw wherever you are. You can draw with whatever you have, a piece of charcoal. Sometimes she'll pick up something from the ground. So I've seen it, and I believe it 100%.
Travis, what are your thoughts on Luke's tip?
I agree. It doesn't have to be something that's planned or, perfect. Just do it. Just allow yourself to just be in the moment and then move on.
I love it. Okay. All right. Rose, can you refresh what your tip was for us?
To shut off your left brain, so access your creativity and change your perspective.
Travis, what are your thoughts on that? How many brains do you use?
I think that's a really important point because it's really easy to just get caught up and say, well, I can't be focused. I can't concentrate. And to be able to intentionally shut off a part of your brain and say, all right, I'm doing this. Doesn't have to be perfect. That's a beautiful thing. And it's something that we really should explore a lot more.
Luke, do you have thoughts about shutting off your left brain? I think you're muted again. All right, Rose, let's go over more of your left brain idea. What are some techniques to turn off your left brain?
So yes. So if you change your perspective on how you're doing your art, so you can turn your piece of your reference upside down, you can look in a mirror, you can, try to draw the opposite. So instead of drawing whatever you're focused on, you look at the outside of it instead. So just changing your perspective, that can help to take your focus off of your left brain and access your right brain.
And that goes really in line with, Luke's tip. Luke was saying, just kind of do it wherever, grab something and go. Luke, do you have what are your thoughts on the left brain and how to turn off your left brain? All right, that question goes to you, Travis. How do you turn off your left brain? What's your favorite way to just do art?
For me, just throw on some music, pull out a notepad or even just a tablet, and I just kind of brain dump and just let everything flow. And afterwards, I look at it and I think about what emotions were coming from that, and then I let it go. I move on with my day.
All right, we've got a question from the audience for you guys. What is the most you've ever, if you have done it commercially, what's the most you've ever made on a piece of art that you've sold?
I've only sold one piece about 20 years ago when I was a teenager for $600.
Nice. Why didn't you try to sell more?
I will. Now that I'm getting back into art, I will.
I mean, as a teenager, you sold a $600 art piece. For me, I feel like that'd be like motivation to go, create more and do more.
Yeah.
That's crazy that you stopped, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Hindsight's 2020. Travis, Luke, have you guys ever sold a piece of art?
I've sold one for $100 back when I was in middle school, I believe.
I love it.
Awesome.
Luke, tell me you've sold one and we were a teenager too.
No, I did one of these church marriage get together young things where we did pottery and we had to paint it all and painted animals on it. Each animal didn't look anything like the animals intended to be. Those sat in the garage for like 10 years and then I sold them at a yard sale. So I think a whopping $20 for like 10 plates of animals that looked like they were mutated. So that is my artistic/autistic ability, was about $20.
I love it. So that just helps to show that, all you guys love art, you're doing art, you're all artists, and yet you're not monetizing it. You're keeping it as a hobby or at least just using it to improve your mental health. So if you're out there wondering about art, you don't have to be a perfect person or sell it. Like a lot of things that we do aren't for money, right? They're not for profit. Question for you guys. What's your favorite type of art? What art style do you prefer?
Mine is oil painting. I have a deep fondness for that now.
I enjoyed drawing and writing, mostly just sketches with charcoal, something that I can get messy with and really get into it.
So, something you can get.
I would say contemporary art for me is something that is aesthetically appealing with a good medium that I could have around. Just creates a better environment for me.
So, Luke, more on that aesthetic art. Do you mean like sculptures, stuff you put in houses and buildings, or paintings?
I'm sorry, you broke up a little bit.
Like for your contemporary art. Never mind. All right, we'll just move on from there. So if you guys were to recommend someone new to art that hasn't done art yet, what medium would you recommend would be the easiest to start that would also still release their happiness and help with their mental health?
Number 2, pencil. Just a regular pencil and paper. That's all they need to start, and it's the best way to get that skill going.
And draw like a toddler or start writing?
Draw, create, use an empty sheet of paper. Actually, even drawing your signature is art, and it's also writing. So just fill up a piece of paper with whatever that looks like, whether it's writing, whether it's drawing. Just fill up a full piece of paper.
A full piece of paper, all the way to the edges, huh?
Yep.
What are your thoughts, Travis?
For me, it's a pen and a piece of paper because you can't erase it. You can't go back and change it. Yeah, you can scratch it out, but it's there. You have to deal with exactly what's there.
All right. What's the hardest art form to get started with?
I would say, what's that? Stipple? Stippling is just very intensive. All those little dots. That would take a lot of discipline.
What is stippling?
It's when you have millions and millions of little dots, and that
Like with a pen?
Yeah.
an art piece. Yes, stippling. Yeah,
Interesting.
there's some amazing art pieces from stippling, but it is very challenging. So it's just with a pen, but yeah, I would say that that's one of the more challenging for me personally.
All right, we've got a loaded question from the audience, and we have 30 seconds to answer it. What are your thoughts on AI affecting art nowadays?
It's not art
Question.
in my perspective. It's not art. It's just another medium of, using that. Yeah, that to me, AI is not true art. True art is done on either from a human being.
Okay. Even if a human being is plugging in or typing or telling it what to do?
It also depends on what it's for. So if you're using it to inspire people, I have a hard time getting inspired from an AI image personally. So I think it's also a very personal experience. If you're an artist, if you're just looking for some image to fill in like a social media post, I'm fine with AI. But if you're looking for a true art piece, you can't replace humans, in my
Travis,
perspective.
Luke, thoughts on that?
I would have to agree. To me, art is something more tangible, and it gets your brain really flowing, and it allows you to be creative. And when you type something into a computer and just produce it, it takes away that creativity that makes us human and allows us to connect. And I think that's the biggest part of art, is being able to connect even just with yourself in a way that allows you to just be and to exist in a space that's comfortable.
Wow, I like that, Travis. Thank you so much. All right, guys, we are towards the end of the episode. We've got one big task we have to do. It is called our daily challenge. We must come up with a challenge that can be done every day. It takes less than 5 minutes, costs $0, and is available to anyone in the world from Zimbabwe to Kathmandu. What thoughts do you guys have?
So I'll start. My challenge is to change your perspective. So if you're doing art, draw upside down, draw in a mirror, draw, with like a different a different perspective than you normally would. If you're applying it to any other art, do the same thing. Just try to see things from a different perspective. Watch yourself on a video if you're dancing, or try to change it up, change your perspective.
Any other thoughts?
Yeah, I would say pick one thing and do it with enthusiasm, like you're an 8-year-old boy with like a superhero costume on. I think get rid of any self-judgment, just do it and connect with whatever you're doing on an emotional level.
Yeah, I mean, what do you think, Travis? I think we definitely need to create art every day, correct?
Yes, and just give yourself the grace and the ability to just exist in that moment. It doesn't have to be perfect, and it doesn't have to be something planned. It could just be, hey, I'm really struggling right now, or I just need to take a moment to myself. Just pull out a piece of paper and just let those emotions out. And it could be just, a couple of seconds of, hey, I need to just connect with myself again and back away from everything else, just to exist in this moment and reconnect with my environment, and even just a physical environment to get those thoughts out and get the creative juice flowing, and just open up the floodgates. Just scribble and allow the words to come out if you have a lot to say but don't have anyone to say it to.
I like it. So I think for our daily challenge, we're going to do this. Grab a pencil and a pen, and you have to put the pencil to the pen for 5 minutes every day and create some sort of art. It can be a drawing, a poem, lyrics, or even just a story. How does that sound?
Absolutely.
Perfect. Yeah. Something anyone can do anywhere.
You can do it anywhere, anything. I mean, I guess if you don't have pen and paper, you can draw it in the sand. I don't know, whatever you want there, but do something. And I almost want to add share it publicly. How do you guys feel about that?
Yep, 100-day challenge. Do a drawing 100-day challenge or a creative 100-day challenge.
I like
Is
that.
that what-
It makes it real. It makes it
Cool.
an actual physical thing. So
Oh man, I mean, you guys are gonna have me drawing for the next week. God dang it! I don't even. I might be writing silly poems. We'll find out. Awesome. All right, guys. Well, that is the end of our episode. Then we found our daily challenge. Thank you guys so much. I'm gonna wrap this show up. Thank you so much for watching another episode of Millionaires Are Made. I hope you guys enjoyed a little bit. We went over mental health and art. Our daily challenge is to take a pen and a paper and create some sort of art every day for 5 minutes. Hopefully you'll join us on this, and hopefully you'll watch our next episode.